I know it's been a long time since my last vlog. Too long. In May, my morning sickness kicked in and it was really hard for me to do anything, let alone think creatively. But I really want to catch up. It's interesting how different my perspective is since my last vlog. Like at the end of 5, there was that song about how I'm going to love my year in Korea, and then once the year is over, I'll leave. And I'll always have great memories. But at that time, I'd still only been here for 3 months. The first 3 months were fun. I was learning new things every day. And I still am. Every day I see or hear something interesting or different about the culture, the language in this country that I wouldn't have experienced if I were some other place in the world. And I do appreciate that. But I've been here 6 months now, and the novelty's really worn off on me. Maybe that's another reason why it's been so long since my last vlog. Maybe it's just the fact that I'm pregnant and tired all the time, and dying for American foods and American comforts, like a pharmacy where you can buy things off the shelves. But every day, I think at least once about how much I want to go home. And actually, my maternity leave starts in November, so it's not that much longer before I do get to go home. But now I understand what people were talking about when I first got here. I was so excited about everything and happy in my new life. Happy to have money to spend for the first time. We were talking about how, like, there's clothes like on racks and purses and stuff just like out in the street. Nobody's washing it. Like in America or South Africa, like Emma said, people would just be stealing it. But here, it's so safe. Like nobody steals anything. It's crazy. It's different. Happy to have friends from all over the world.
Morning, sir.
We're so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red the singing, and the hope of the brave. Play more! Oh, Canada!
Oh, the phrase topical humor.
My blog did that?
Yeah, I read it in your blog.
Where did I mention topical humor?
I don't remember. Happy to be learning a foreign language, immersed in its cultural roots. Oh,
Somebody will have made a joke and I'll say, oh, where'd you hear that? And they're like, oh, your blog or your this, and I'm like, oh.
This is an awesome angle.
Well, you did the same thing though. Or I did the same thing. Like.
Happy to have a job I loved. The first job out of college. I felt so lucky. But people I talked to told me that after 6 months, I would feel differently. That I would become disillusioned and not love Korea so much. Or at least not love my Korea life. I dismissed their comments as something that could not ever possibly happen to me. But of course it did. People I've talked to who have been here for years say that the feeling does go away after a while, maybe a few months. I guess I'm not there yet. I won't leave before I get to that feeling. But I don't want you guys to get the impression that I'm depressed or that I regret coming here. Neither of those things are true. I'm trying hard not to be negative because I'm not a fan of hate mail. But also, and I know I've said this before, I'm not going to censor myself. I am glad that I came to Korea. If I hadn't come here, I wouldn't have met the interesting characters who have become my friends and enemies. I wouldn't have learned how to be a good ESL teacher, and I wouldn't have met so many great kids and teachers. I wouldn't have learned the things I have about the Korean psyche and society that really are so radically different from people's minds in America. It's crazy to think that when I got here, everything but the mountains and the shade of people's skin seemed different and yet the same. There were still McDonald's or Dunkin' Donuts on every other corner, and little kids still with their mothers in the parks. But now I see everything as actually different. I still don't know if the cats sound like they're dying because they actually are, or because they're mating, or because they're fighting over mates. I've heard a lot of things, but whatever it is, it sure doesn't sound good. All the perfect nuclear families in that park only exist because all the children of divorced parents live with their grandparents or in an orphanage. "90% of the kids in orphanages have living parents. Racism exists here, as it does in every country, but here it is not only more overt, it is accepted, and many times actually embraced as patriotism."
So it was like maybe my second week here in Korea. It was the week of Christmas, right? So it was maybe 2 days before Christmas, Christmas Eve, and it was myself, Istvan, my old co-worker, a guy from Australia, and a bunch of our adult students, and we had moved from the bowling alley to go to a bar to drink. And as we're walking to the bar, there's this drunk guy on the side of the road, just kind of yelling, just random, like we didn't know, so we just kind of walked by and laughed. But as we started walking by, it was really strange because he starts trying to talk to me and just saying things. I didn't know what he was saying because he was speaking all Korean. My friends told me just ignore him, just keep walking. I'm like, okay, so I did, but he wouldn't leave me alone. He starts grabbing my jacket and just kind of pulling me back, and my friends kind of pulled him off of me, and then they said, go ahead, just go to the bar. So they held him back and were talking to him for a little while longer, and me and two girl students and Istvan walked up to the bar and went inside.
So he was talking to you, not Istvan?
Yeah, specifically to me, right? Because he was grabbing my jacket, saying stuff to me, right? Istvan was like up front.
So I wonder how the guy knew that Istvan was not American, because he looks just like a foreigner, right?
Right. I don't know.
I just think it's strange that he was targeting you and not Istvan.
We were in the bar, and all of a sudden, like, boom! Like the drunken guy busts in the door and starts saying just spouting things off, and so my friends came in, and the guy and they were trying to calm the guy down, and the guy had like his fist pulled back, like he was ready to punch. My friend. My friend kind of pushed him over, and the guy, because he was drunk, fell, and kind of like, I guess he cut his face on something, right? And so we went upstairs. They were just like, go upstairs, and then the whole time I'm thinking, like, what is going on? What did I do? And so we go upstairs, and Eva, one of the girls, she says to me, he said something about his father or grandfather died in the Korean War. And also he said something about like why should we have to learn English? Like, I don't care. I don't know. That's your government. Take that up with your government, not me. Later on, I found out that drunken homeless people just do that sometimes.